Welcome back to the Crown Chronicles podcast, where we talk about having the absolute audacity and courage to be your whole self, your soul self, showing up as a human, as a spiritual person, as just overall badass light being energy. Right now, we've been talking about the rise of the sacred feminine. What does that mean on earth? Where did it come from? And how are we seeing it manifest in humanity around the world? And there's a few different things, but one of the prominent energies that I'm feeling with the rise of the sacred feminine is authenticity. And I mean heart-led authenticity is absolutely on the rise. What happens when there's wounded energy is that people are in survival mode. They're in survival mode. It's what do I need to do either to survive or to get by, or like what's expected of me. And survival doesn't necessarily mean like I'm struggling, I'm hustling, I'm only doing this for money. Survival, there's a very large social aspect of survival. And those are the masks. So like if you've ever been anywhere or you have a group of people, or if you've seen Toy Story 5, there's a reference to it. And you may be that outlier, the black sheep. And survival mode in that essence is let me conform to what's socially acceptable. So maybe, I know when I was a kid, one thing that I remembered was it was not cool to watch Barney. And I was in kindergarten and I was told like, no, Barney's for babies. And I was like, but I kind of like this imaginary purple dinosaur. And so that's a very juvenile example of what authenticity, where it starts, where we start putting on the masks and the personas and what we think is permanent for survival, but it's really not. There's always an option. And so with the rise of the sacred feminine energy, authenticity and heart, soul alignment and embodiment is now it's like, it's the cool kid. And that's what people going through their spiritual journeys are being invited to do. When we first start our spiritual journeys, I've referenced this before, Jim Carrey has said it, depression is really your soul saying, I'm tired of wearing this avatar. I'm tired of performing. I'm tired of showing up in a way that just doesn't feel good for me. And it's the dismantling. It's the taking off all of the masks. It's the removing of every single inherited or gifted or like cursed way of living. And that's where we start hearing like the ancestral curses. That's where we start getting into the attachment theory. We start getting into all of the ways that we've learned to put ourselves in a more socially, financially, societally, worldly box. And it takes away from the authenticity that your soul is. And so how are we seeing this on the rise right now? A way that I've noticed it is in the entertainment industry. When, people are fully authentically themselves, I truly believe that's how they have the following that they have. Prime example to look at is Cardi B. Sometimes her music is a little OD, not gonna hold you. Sometimes, people see her personality and they're just like, they're threatened by it. They're threatened by it. There's no other way to say it. And she has the following and the listeners and the supporters that she has because she's so fucking raw and authentically her goddamn self. You talk to her, you could talk about politics, but then you could talk about pussy popping. And like, that's just dead ass who she is. She's not going to change who she is. She's a mother. She has, she's just her, and she's not afraid to show up as her true self in all settings. And it's the epitome of when sacred energy comes online. And so when sacred energy comes online, the feminine, she's the one that has the feeling. She's the one that's the creator. But when the sacred masculine comes online, he's the doer. He's the executor. And so you have the creation, but then you also have like the doing part. And then it's just pure sacred energy moving as one. And that's what we're trying to get back to with the rise of the sacred feminine. Wounded energy is pure survival. And I think energetically, everyone's tired of just fucking surviving. That's just it. It's exhausting having to get up for the soul to have to get up and say, well, I'm going to take the back seat of this world life journey, this lifetime, and pretend to be something that is just not. So then how does that happen in, human existence? What happens as we see it? I think it's Carl Jung that said it. The masks that we wear, the persona, it feels so real, and the ego, the mind makes it feel so fucking real. And it's almost like it's welded. If anyone's seen The Mask, it like suctions to the face. And those are the personas that we develop in survival mode, because it's like, I need to be accepted at some point. But in reality, all you're doing is burying your soul. You're burying your alignment. You're burying your soul alignment. And with this beautiful rising, with the beautiful authenticity coming online, I truly see, I've experienced it. People I know have experienced it. I think the world is truly seeing like, oh, fuck, there's more options for me than just, in the Western world, and like, especially in the US, we're told, go to school, go to college, get a degree, get a good job, pay off the debt that they put you in, have a family, have a white picket fence. And I slowly see that this like pretend paradigm is phasing out because it's not realistic. Why isn't it realistic? Not only because of the economy, but it's not realistic because no one fucking wants that. And because why am I getting a job just to survive? To have 19 days off every single year, when I could truly be getting to know myself at a heart level, at a soul level, and I can be expressing myself however the fuck it is. It doesn't necessarily have to be art. Someone dead ass could be like, no, I genuinely like cleaning up. I want to be a garbage man. I get joy out of it. And that's just it. And ain't no shit on what you decide to do in your life, as long as it's something like that feels true to you. What feels true to you is going to look different than what feels true to someone else. So like, there's no judgment in any of it. Is it your soul expression? Does it give you some sense of like, oh no, this is about right? I know that was a little bit of a tangent going off to the left, but that's exactly what's happening. People showing up to jobs in like hustle culture, people showing up making, CEOs millions and billions of dollars and shit. And they're just like, why the fuck am I sacrificing my time, my energy? Because time and energy are literally your energetic currency. Why am I doing that and spending it on this endeavor over here, when in reality, I could be using this for my damn self? And it doesn't mean the holier than that, because the world doesn't need more fucking healers. Oh my God. Not everyone is meant to be a healer. Not everyone's meant to be a guru or whatever else. We already have religion for that shit. We don't need that. But what I mean is, how am I authentically expressing myself? Am I dancing? Am I teaching? Am I whatever feels good for you? After you have removed the I need to be this in order to make this. And it's okay, because when I show up saying this, I know people gonna be like, you live in a fantasy world, or like, that's not how the world works. That's not how your world works. My world and the world that I've created is absolutely shifting, and it moves based off of what's in my heart, based off of what's in my soul. And along with that, that's my path. That's my path. It ain't got shit to do with anybody else. And that's the authenticity. Is the more authentic you are, the more soul aligned you are, the less anyone else's life impacts you. Because you're busy creating and like enjoying or understanding or coming home to who you authentically are. And so I bring that up because, of course, we have the interpretation of, well, I'm a good person, or I'm kind, or I give back, or like whatever other shit we could be going off of. It's the interpretation of like good versus bad. But then they have the comparison of like, well, they're a manipulator, and they're a liar, and they're a cheater, and they're an abuser, and they're the whole myriad of things. And I'm sorry to say it, the world needs balance. If that is their soul contract this lifetime, they are living it out and appearing successful to you because they're in their soul alignment. It's wild as fuck. I know. But I noticed when apathy, not even apathy, it was just like, I ain't got shit to do with me. Maybe it is apathy. When I would see a certain billion/trillionaire and I'd be like, why the fuck does he have this? How? Because there's some things that are morally different and I don't understand that success. First of all, what's your definition of success? That's first. Second of all, if that's who the fuck they're meant to be, then that's just who the fuck they're meant to be. That's just it. So you leave them the fuck alone. But are you, as you're worried about X, Y, and Z over here, are you in your soul frequency? Are you in your truth? If you're doing things as motivation of like, oh, this looks good to society, or this will get me views. We are on the social media age. This will get me views. This looks good in society, or like, it creates a need, or I'm helping people, but what's your motivation for helping people? Is it so you can take a photo of it? Or is it because you genuinely want other people to succeed? Or are you also pouring into victim consciousness and you're perpetuating a stigma of necessity? Is that it? So what's your motivation for doing shit? And I'll say it. There was one time I thought I was a fucking savior. I dead ass thought I was a savior. There's reasons for it, whatever. Intent doesn't have shit to do with it. It just, the facts are the facts. I thought I was a savior. I thought I had to, at one point, this is a very damaged point. I was like, damn, is my job this lifetime to love everybody else and not just like, I'm not loved? And I'm pretty sure that was probably one of the first times I heard my spirit team look at me like, are you well? Are you okay? Because no. And so I would pour out all this love because I was like, well, the only way that I'm going to feel love is if I love someone else. And it's like, girl, that's not even true. That's not even true. But until I did the hard work and realized, oh, fuck, that was kind of a manipulation in order for someone else to, be grateful for me or show me affection or show me any sort of like validation. That shit wasn't coming from the heart. And so when you realize this, you start realizing, oh shit, damn, what is my motivation for doing shit? Is it because I genuinely care? Is it because I know that there's progress that's being made? An easy way to gauge this also is if you had $0 or if you had like $30 million, if you were dead ass broke and have shit to your name, or if you had all the money in the world, would you still do it? Would you still do it? And that's an easy ass way for you to gauge, oh fuck, is this coming from the heart? Is this what I'm supposed to be doing? Again, it's a separation or the understanding of survival versus thriving. That survival shit, we see that's going out the window real fucking quick right now. And the way that you're seeing it though, I don't know, there's a few ways that I'm seeing it. Because people working in jobs that feel like there's no purpose to the job, huge one that I've seen is call centers. People that are on their journey, beginning at any stage of their journey, they're just like, this literally makes no fucking sense. This makes no fucking sense to me. It's a dead end job. It's just the monotony of like, clock in, be on the phone all day, be yelled at, yell at people, problem solve for no fucking reason, hang up the phone, and then that's just it. And it's just like, okay, so where's the substance? And what a goddamn privilege it fucking is to go on a spiritual fucking journey and realize I'm not made for basic shit. I'm not made to survive. People that can show up to a job or say like, oh, it's, hustle time. I'm just going to make a few dollars and then I'm going to leave that job. I bless you. Be on your beautiful golden path. But what a fucking blessing it is that I'm not one of those people, that my heart is what drives me. it has to have some sort of substance. There has to be some sort of purpose that's behind it. And I don't mean like solve world hunger, be the next guru, make sure you like whatever the fuck else it is, teach everybody this. That's not it. What I'm saying is at some point, this job has to fulfill me. And I don't just mean my pockets, because all money is just, it's energetic currency. That's all it is. And so money's the easy part. Money's the quick ass grab. Especially when you trade in time for money, those are the same fucking thing. But what a beautiful, and I'm going to keep repeating it, blessing it is that I get to go through a spiritual awakening. My soul gets to wake me up like, hey, yo, hey there, buddy. What you doing there over there surviving? We're not meant to do that. And in that coming home, in that soul frequency, in that beautiful alignment is the gratitude when we can look back and be like, fuck, I used to do this, be this, have this, think this, thought this was non-negotiable. And now I get to know myself and get to know myself and date myself and court myself and understand or understand who the fuck I am without anything that has previously happened to me or told me who the fuck I am. Who do I want to be? Who do I want to create? And what world do I want to create around me? That's the biggest thing. And so that leads me to a point in communities, in the healing atmospheres. And this is psychologically also, because you hear it in therapy, but you also hear it in spiritual spaces, is affirmations. At no point can I or will I or have I ever told a client to ever resort to affirmations, because it's not authentic all the time. It's not. You're repeating a lie to yourself until you start believing it through repetition. And for me, it never sat well in my spirit, in my soul, in my stomach, in my heart. It never sat well, because at every point it was like, you're fucking lying to yourself. You're lying to yourself. And then it's almost like you're coercing or you're manipulating yourself into, all right, fuck it, damn, just, all right, maybe. And then later down the line comes like, yeah, so you lied to yourself about that whole entire thing. And then you're waiting on the world to affirm it back to you. And then there's the validation. Then it was just like, well, maybe I wasn't lying. It's a whole ass thing. So with affirmations and authenticity, another step with them I've heard of, and I have used with a few clients, is ask-formations. So instead of just making an affirmation, it's you ask yourself and you open up the possibility. So instead of an affirmation, which is super tight, it's right there. A lot of the time we're lying to ourselves saying them. An ask-formation kind of loosens that grip and we start, oh, there is possibility. So then what's a good example? Let's go into an example of one. Family. And let's say we want a relationship later on down the line, but our family has conditioned us that we're unlovable. And then there's a generational curse of like, you have to work to be loved. And then, every person that is in a tumultuous, like chaotic relationship. So now relationships are chaotic and you have to earn love. And yes. And it comes down to the core wound of I'm not lovable. Okay. So if you subconsciously and unconsciously think I'm not lovable and you're throwing affirmations of I am lovable at what I see it as a door, all you're doing is you're just bouncing off of that door until, and this is where it just feels weird to me, until someone's on the other side of the door, aka you finally just like relentlessly beat the door and it's like, fuck, all right, I'm gonna let it in. But it's almost like your body, your subconscious also like side eye you like, is this how we're going to do it? And you're making shit hard. You're just making shit hard. So instead of going from I'm unlovable and then swinging all the way 180 degrees into I'm lovable, an ask-formation brings you to the halfway point of like, what if I am lovable? And so that's a step further. That's a step better. I get it. I do. But I feel like lies. I teach, I have experienced, I have done is when you take the entire pie, you get to know yourself. And so you're including shadow work, you're including new beliefs, and you're also taking the present moment of acceptance. So let's use the same exact example. That was weird. I'm unlovable, but you know that you want to believe I am lovable. You talk to the belief that is right there. That's on this end. Hi, you have gotten me through X amount of years. I learned this, but it wasn't truly in my heart. I inherited this belief from X, Y, and Z experiences. And thank you for existing because you've gotten me this far. And I am choosing my true alignment, which is the belief of I am lovable and I don't need to earn love. So you're holding both together. You acknowledge here, but you also acknowledge here. This one is true as of right now. You give thanks for it. So then it's easier for you to release while also building this up. So as this grip is loosening, this grip is building. And so now it's more authentic and you're dating yourself. And then you can easily unravel what happened over here while also with that unraveling, you're building what's happening over here. And that's genuinely why I don't fuck with affirmations. I don't. Use that as an opportunity to truly know yourself, know where you came from and where you're going with it. And both things exist at once. It's a beautiful way to get to understand your authentic self while also acknowledging, okay, well, yeah, I was over here and now I'm going to go over here because I love myself. I deserve more. There's so much more in the world for me to experience and there's so much more beauty for me to experience. But I can't experience that beauty and put old programming into a new, amazing, different shell. That's like taking a fucking 92 Corolla and trying to put it in a 2026 fucking, I don't know, BMW or something. It just doesn't work. You can't do that. So make your life easier. Instead of like hitting that door and beating a dead horse with just a simple affirmation that is not true. It's genuinely just a lie. Start actually getting to know what's at that door and saying like, oh, I see what's happening here. Okay, and it just makes it easier for you because it's an opportunity for you to also, because typically it's a shadow. It's an opportunity for you to shed light on that shadow while also opening the door to something new. And so that's my soapbox for why me and affirmations, I feel like, are lies. And I get it. I do know that it's repetition, but it's also you have to be able to give yourself the permission to feel, because affirmations are just words. You have to give yourself the permission to feel what previously existed or where you're living at now, and then allow yourself the safety to say like, hey, there's a new possibility. Let me feel like I am lovable. And then it just makes your life easier. And then authenticity isn't a chore. It is now a blessing and a beautiful journey back into yourself. Authenticity is one of the greatest. Actually, authenticity is a higher frequency than love. If you are authentically loving, if you are authentically your whole self, your soul self, you vibrate higher than just love because it's true soul expression. And in your authenticity, not only people focus on the like letting go, people focus on the like what you're going to lose as you're going on this journey of authenticity in your soul, soul awakening. What am I saying? Spiritual awakening. It's also what you gain. And it's so much greater than what the mind can think about. It's so much greater because the heart is 3 times greater. The electromagnetic field of the heart is 3 times greater than the mind. So when you come into that heart, when you come into that soul frequency, if it's glowing greater, then that means you're going to receive and be surrounded by experience greater. But having the courage to say like, yeah, we gonna do it. And being me is enough. Being fully myself is enough because you can feel it when there's a performance, whether someone is performing consciously or unconsciously. when their mask is something that they think they are. And it's like, nope, that's a mask. And it's not our job to call anyone else out, but we can feel it. And although, going back to what we previously said, I'm in my authentic self and I see how other people are living, and I accept that that's their journey. That's their path this lifetime. That also, in that acceptance, doesn't mean that I need to be in it. It's a real life version of unconditional love doesn't mean unconditional tolerance. I see and I accept it, that this exists, and I don't need to be around it. That's it. We are the co-creators of our lives. You are the creator of your universe. You are more than enough. Show up as your whole self. Have the courage to be curious about your damn self. And watch what unfolds. Once again, I am starting our class. It is Sex Alchemy. We are starting that on August 5th. And the reason why we go into sex alchemy, why is that? Because we get in touch with our internal power. And instead of outsourcing, and again, for consumption for anyone else, we now bring it all in within ourselves. And now we know ourselves on a soul frequency, holding our power, and then getting to know and embody the divinity within us and manifesting and creating even more. They are on Wednesdays, again, starting on August 5th. They're about an hour and a half long each class. It is a 6-week long period, and they are all recorded. You can sign up on my website. And if you have any questions, feel free. Also, again, like, comment, subscribe, share. I appreciate everybody that listens, or they refer, or they send the podcast. I love it. I love interacting with all of you guys. And it's really just a conversation of like, well, fuck, who can I be myself around? Let's just be us. Let's just be true to ourselves.